Hey, it's Tim.
And it's Amy from GoWithLess. We're so glad that you're here with us today. In this week's video, we're going to share how a skill that we use to achieve fire may be holding us back in our nomadic life. I hope you'll stay tuned for the whole video.
Every Wednesday here on our channel, we come out with a new video, typically talking about our early retirement or our nomadic lifestyle. In 2015, we left our careers in our late 40s and retired early. And in January of 2020, we sold our home and became full-time nomads. If you are new to our channel, please be sure and subscribe. Also ring the little notification bell. Also, don't forget to give us a thumbs up.
Okay, so Tim and I have shared our plans for the last quarter of 2020, and we've also let you know that we don't have any plans after January the 3rd, and we haven't made any plans. It's been maybe 3 weeks. We still don't have any plans, and we're going to share how that is sitting with us, because the answer is not so well. This is something that we discuss almost every day of like, where are we going to be in 2 months, isn't it?
I think we discuss it multiple times a day, so not just every day. And so also, before we sort of get going, something that sort of leads us into this discussion is we have friends who have been nomadic for a long time, and they tell us many friends, and they tell us, don't worry, everything's going to work out and it's all going to be fine, and even if it's just 2 weeks before you don't have a roof over your head, don't worry.
It always works out for the best. It always works out.
And we do believe this. We understand that this is a dynamic that will play out for us in the best way possible in the long run. But it will play out in a way that will work. So we are not going to be sleeping in our car on January the 4th because things didn't go the way we wanted. So, but the pre-planning thing is something that we are hardwired to make happen.
And that really helped us retire early. So it helped us in our careers, in our savings. Planning for tomorrow is how we made our life work so successfully, really up until now. And we're going to really get into why we think that might be a detriment now. But this is how both of us are wired. And I think that a lot of people in the fire community are also wired that way, of planning into the future. And that's kind of how fire works for a lot of people. So there are almost like two choices that we're faced with, and both of them have difficulty. And that's why we haven't made a decision yet. The first choice is go ahead and just rent an Airbnb. So a few things is that we're looking to stay for at least 2 months in our next spot starting in January, up to 4 months. So we haven't put that out that we'd like to stay for 4 months, but I think it'd be nice just to be able to catch our breath. I'm 52. I don't think I've had a chance to take it easy since I'm 18, even though we're retired. A couple weeks ago, we did a video about kind of what keeps us busy, and that was really just a fraction of what we're doing. We are busier than we should be. I want to have an opportunity to get back to my online Spanish lessons, maybe take a class through some university or something like that. And I like the idea of staying put for about 4 months, but we are looking for really nice places, and there's the rub.
And the value in that is that we could do it tomorrow. We could go and find a place and just get it booked and get it done. So that would sort of satisfy our desire to have something on the book. So when we build a trip, we like to have the bones of a trip together. So we say that the bones are going to be where we're going to sleep. So whether that's going to be a hotel or an Airbnb or a house sit, we like to know how we're going to get someplace and back. So that's going to either be airfare, we're going to drive, or something like that. And we also like to know how we're going to get around once we get there, whether that's public transportation or a car or whatever. And so that's something that we love to have pre-planned. This year, when we launched out into the year, we had over 200 nights and house sits on the books. We also had most of the year sort of planned, and we thought we had the bones of our year together. That's all fallen apart.
And it felt very reassuring.
It did. So in terms of being nomads, that's part of the reason we felt comfortable, is because we knew what the bones of our plans were going to be, and it just hasn't worked out that way. And we've made the best of it. It's been a great year so far, but now that we're in this mode of trying to figure out what we're doing next, it's hard to sort of wait and find something that may be the best thing for us.
And just trusting that it will work out. That still means there's an enormous amount of work for it to work out, is what we're finding. And here is the reality, is we are in the United States. We are going into wintertime, and we want 75 degrees. Well, that equals expensive places. So it might have been a little bit cheaper over the summertime because there were more options, but now it's not summertime anymore, and there are only a handful of places we really want to be in the States or Mexico, and And none of these are too cheap. So where a house sit hasn't shown up yet that gets us going in January, the idea of renting a place in the markets that we're looking is close to $3,000 a month, which might be a lot for, I mean, it's all over the place. Some would think that's a ton, some would think that's not a ton, but it's really $100 a night. And all we're looking for is something like a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom with a kitchen and a washing machine and nothing too fancy. But we are looking in these nice markets, maybe like California, Arizona, Florida might be a bit cheaper, but we are in California, so we got to get to Florida. We just drove across the country. We're not dying to do cross-country trips over and over, especially during COVID.
And that price point just seems to be the price point that checks all the boxes for the things that we are looking for in the places that we're looking to be. That doesn't mean that we're signing up for $3,000 a month. That just seems to be what we're finding. And so if we wanted to go find something and just get it done, we could probably sign up for that today and sort of check this off of our box.
And that's our whole budget.
And that's our whole budget. So if you watch our videos, you know that we're looking to spend $3,000 in total every month. So if our rent was going to be $3,000, and obviously that would blow our budget out of the window. We could make it work, but it's not something that we could make it work
with our finances. It certainly wouldn't work with a $36,000 budget.
Yeah, and so
obviously.
And then plan B or column B is this wait and see thing, and there's a few reasons that wait and see is good. So it might be good for our rental situation. So if we wait until it's closer in and somebody is going to, they need somebody in their place, there's some chance that they'd be willing to work with us on the price and give us a better sort of last minute price for a situation,
for a longer
term situation. So there's that option. Also, just waiting means that house sits might show up on the radar for us, and that's something that's really what we would prefer for a variety of reasons. One of the main reasons is we love pets, and so we really like the idea of being with pets. We also like the homes that we're in are typically nicer than the Airbnbs that we're looking to find. So it's like they have a nice kitchen and it's where they live. And so people just that are looking for house sitters tend to have situations that are nicer than a 1-bedroom apartment that we're looking to sign up for.
I'll tell you, we are leaving our house that we're in Pasadena on Monday. I am so sad to say goodbye to the cat because it took her 9 days to warm up to us. She was probably the hardest pet we've had yet, but now she's really attached to us, and I'm really attached to her. I'm thinking you are too.
Not hard in caring for, but just hard in this warm-up cycle. So it took her a while to sort of, I guess, trust that we weren't going to eat her. And so but anyway, she's
so when she came around, though, she's really into us, and we adore her. So we obviously love pets. But the other side of it is if we wait until a week or two before our opening, that might mean it's hard for us to even get a good Airbnb. So it seems as though during COVID, this is like things have really shifted, I can tell. So Airbnbs are still, they haven't come down significantly, and it seems as though a lot of people are kind of using Airbnbs because maybe they're safer than hotels without big crowded lobbies and check-in desks and elevators and things like that. So the Airbnb model seems to work really well, eating inside at your home maybe. And it seems like people might be doing like maybe closer in vacation. So they could do a driving vacation instead of a flying international vacation or flying all over the country. So maybe make it a little bit more local and just go somewhere else. And so what that means is if we're looking for a 2 to 4 month rental, if somebody rented a weekend during the middle of those 2 or 3 months, then that is not available for us. And so we are concerned that we might have like the bottom of the barrel available that is not having anything rented on their books for, near the near term. And that might mean brand new listings that don't have any reviews, which we have been burned and we really are into reviews. Or it might mean places that aren't so great, and neither one of those is good. And here's how I look at it is even if, so my anxiety is a little bit high here because of us not knowing where we're going to be. But I know that we're not going to be sleeping in our car. I know that we can end up somewhere and say we can rent an Airbnb for a week, or we can use our points and miles or cash to stay at a hotel. So I know that we're going to be okay. I know this, but it's really just having my brain believe it, I think. So I rationally, very clearly realize this. And Tim and I are completely on the same page with this, which is really helpful, or not helpful. It'd be nice maybe if one of us was really a calming influence, but we're both a little bit stressed.
Yeah, we're definitely stressed. And I think it's just the unknowns we're not good with. So being planned is what we would like. And so unfortunately, we don't think that that's going to, primarily it's not going to serve our pocketbooks the right way. So obviously we could just take this completely off the table if we went and spent the money today, but we're
And
wanting
we
to
may
find,
do that.
and we may do that, but we are waiting, and we're going to see how this works out. And like Amy said, I guess there's this dynamic at play where we don't know that 2 weeks before that something amazing is going to wind up in our lap. It might be a situation that isn't the best of all worlds, and we just have to sign up for it because it's what's available at the time. And so that's something also we're not necessarily looking forward to. We've been told, again, this is the right thing to do, wait and see. And so we're going to give it a go and see how it works. And so obviously if we find a house sit tomorrow, we're signing up tomorrow. If something works, obviously it has to be the right situation. But we're wanting to sign up for something sooner than later, but we're willing to wait a little closer to see how it goes. And so this is hopefully going to serve us better from a financial standpoint, maybe not from a mental well-being standpoint.
Yeah, and there's something to be said about that as well. And as people who've been house sitting for over 5 years, the house sitting market has changed so dramatically. There are few and far between house sits, and in the places where we're wanting to be sitting in the winter for the longer term house sits, there are 30, 40, 50 applicants within 12 hours, within 24 hours. So it is so hard now to book a long-term house sit in the space because there are, like I said, there are so few and far between. And you might think that house sits are for long-term are planned in advance. And certainly that is the case with some of them. And that's who we have been working with generally in the past because we've been planned out far. But it turns out that if we are a little more patient and flexible and keeping our schedule open, that people are posting maybe 4 week plus house sits. And so we're open to that.
We haven't been patient enough in the past to sort of see how this plays out. We jumped the gun.
Yeah, we jumped the gun.
As I mentioned earlier, having these bones together, we were 10 months planned out. So we liked that, felt good to us. Now it's 10 weeks and we're still not, we don't know where we're going to be. So we're already at a point where it's like this is beyond our comfort level. But we're rolling with it. We've improved, and so we'll see how it goes. And but anyway, this is just a struggle that we think that this is maybe, I don't know, it's something that served us incredibly well in our working life, and for most of our life is having this planning skill. And so now this sort of wait and see model might serve us better. We don't know, but it's something that we're going to have to try and see if it does serve us better.
Yeah, we better learn how to be chill.
Yeah,
we're not chill people.
No.
Okay, so here's what I want to know from our audience. If you have been or are a nomad, I want to know what happened during COVID. Did you stay a nomad? Did you go back home somewhere and hunker down for the time being? If you stayed on the road, how are you managing this? Because again, I think that this COVID is a really big deal in being nomads.
100%.
Yeah,
so it's like it's changed everybody's life, including people that are nomadic, and
including people who are at home.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, everyone's life has changed, and so. But that does not mean that we still don't want a home. We still don't want to be in one place for 12 months. We still don't want anything like an RV. So we still want the freedom that as soon as things are okay and there's a vaccine, we're ready to hit the road immediately. So that also maybe serves us well to not be planned out so far. We already have house sits booked in Portugal this coming summer. So hopefully that is a-okay. Actually, it's through viewers of ours. So I think what I want to know is, how has COVID changed your planning? Or first of all, how did your nomad life? I want to know before and after COVID, how has this been? Have you been advanced planners and you just learned to trust? Has it changed during COVID? And then if you are not already a nomad and you're just watching maybe as like an armchair, wanting to see how it's working out for us, I want to know what you would do. So if you were going to pay $3,000 a month to be in and I wouldn't say it's a great place, it's a fine place, but it'd be a place that we'd be really happy. So would you pay the $3,000? We can afford it, but again, it would be a big hit toward our spending. Would you go ahead and just have the peace of mind of locking that in? Or would you want to are you like kind of more chill and go with the flow? And would you be open to kind of taking it easy and seeing what happens a week or two out? So I want to know that down in the comments below. And when you are watching this next week, where are we going to be?
We will be in Mexico, Puerto Peñasco, Mexico.
Yes.
We'll be at a condo on the beach. And so our view is actually the Gulf of California. So we are very excited about being there, and we will share with you some photographs on our Instagram page at We Go With Less. And so we hope you'll go there and check out some of our pictures whenever our video comes out.
That's right. When this video comes out, will be our first morning waking up to that view. So I can't wait. And I'm hoping that hopefully we have good internet. We can upload a picture of our view, because that'll be 3 weeks. And I'm just going to go stare at that view every single day. So I am very calmed by the sea. Maybe this will be a good thing, being at the sea.
Could be.
Okay, with that, adios. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Bye.